to know the truth. Those of you who agree with us, please join us Saturday at Park Street Station at 1 o'clock. And those of you who can, go down to Fort Meade, where there's going to be a rally with people from all over the country this Saturday, June 1st. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Al from Veterans for Peace. And Veterans for Peace, ever since this case broke almost 3 years ago, has stood in solidarity and in defense of Bradley, the heroic WikiLeaks whistleblower Bradley Manning. And we'll do so till the end. This is an important case for us. A lot of us in Veterans for Peace are veterans from the Vietnam War and know about the situation, the kind of things that Bradley Manning was exposing. Remember, these are governmental documents. These are reports by governmental agents, whether they're military agents or civilian agents, about American atrocities in Afghanistan and Iraq, documented by them. This isn't stuff that he made up. This is just stuff that he came across his desk. He was a military analyst in Iraq, came across all this information and said, what the hell is going on? This isn't why I came into the service. This isn't why I came into the Army. He might have had a whole bunch of reasons other than to expose anything when he came in, but after seeing this for a time, he said, I have to do something about it. And he said, hey, look, I'm going to go to the New York Times because, you know, the New York Times is the paper of record in this country. That's what they call themselves. And I'm sure they'll be more than interested in publishing this information. And they said, you know, get lost, basically. And the Washington Post, you know, which is at least partially a paper of record in this country as well. And they said, get lost. So he took it to WikiLeaks, and WikiLeaks said, well, yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing we want to do. We want transparency. We want to know about things that are happening in the world here, particularly about American foreign policy and American war policy and what was happening, what people knew, what a lot of people actually knew besides Bradley Manning, knew was happening in Afghanistan and Iraq in terms of atrocities by American troops or American-supported troops. And so WikiLeaks published that, and Bradley Manning has proudly, back in February of this year, he proudly declared that he in fact was the WikiLeaks whistleblower, and there's a 35-page report of how he did it, and what he did and what he didn't do. And that's important. What he didn't do was important because he didn't try to release any kind of thing that would put any soldier in harm's way, any active soldier in Afghanistan and Iraq in harm's way. So what he is basically being held for, and they're trying to put him away for life, no question about this government, the Obama government, nobody else, not the Bush government, this is all under the Obama government's administration. They're trying to put him away for life. We say no. We say, Bradley, we have your back. And we want you to have his back. Especially if you're against the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. You support political prisoners, prisoners of conscience. You support progressive activities. You're in favor of a new agenda for what's happening in America. Then you should be writing back to Bradley Manning, because in the spring of 2013, Bradley Manning is the poster person for the struggle, particularly the anti-war struggles this spring. Bradley Manning is the focal point right now, and we've got to try to spring the brother. Somebody who said the other day, we've got to spring Bradley Manning. Okay, we've got his back, we want you to have his back, and the way you can do it today, right today, and this right now, come over here and sign the petition. And the petition is to the Secretary of the Army, who is in the chain of command. Barack Obama is the Commander-in-Chief, the Secretary of the Army is right under him. Now what he can do is drop the charges, and that's what we want to have happen here. Even though the trial is on Monday, we've got a last-ditch effort here. We've got a last-ditch, desperate effort here to try to save Bradley Manning. And the way we can do it just right this minute is try to get as many signatures down to the Secretary of the Army to tell him to drop the charges against Bradley Manning, to free Bradley Manning, to let him go. And so that's one of the things we're doing today. Now, obviously today we're coming very close to the trial, which is going to be down in Fort Meade on Monday, June 3rd. We also want to highlight the fact that we have to put a lot of publicity into the Bradley Manning case. And one of the ways we do it is every week. We're here every Wednesday and have been since before Thanksgiving. We're here every Wednesday from 5 to 6, and we'll be here for the duration. As they say in the Army, we'll be here for the duration. Trying as long as we can to support freedom for Bradley Manning. The trial is starting next Monday. It's expected to go at least 12 weeks or something like that. You never know with these kind of things. But we'll be out here continually through the trial. That's one thing we're doing. But on Saturday, and this is very important, Saturday is an International Day of Solidarity with Bradley Manning. People throughout the country and around the world will be standing in various locations to show solidarity with the heroic WikiLeaks whistleblower Bradley Manning, who has been in pretrial confinement now for over 3 years. And we're going to have a stand out here in Boston, over in Park Street, one of the historic places for anti-war and progressive movements, to be situated and to be commemorating various events. We're going to be here over at Park Street in Boston, just a couple of, 4 stops down from here. Park Street at 1 o'clock. We'll be standing out from about 1 to 2:30 in solidarity with the other peoples of the world who are standing out in solidarity with Private Bradley Manning. We invite you to come, particularly if you've been against the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. You support the struggle to free political prisoners. You're worried about the American Constitution. You're worried about civil rights. Whatever you may be worried about, let's get out there and support Bradley Manning, because we got to win this one. The importance of this one is this. Look at, he's an Army guy. He's a soldier. He's a private. They're going after a private in the U.S. Army. All the generals, all the secretaries of defense, and the president and the vice president, and all the administrations, they're all sitting free and easy today, especially the previous one, the Bush administration. They're not in jail. They're not suffering for their failed policies, their war policies, their foreign policy. Bradley Manning is the fall guy. And so why this case is important is because we have to make sure that the next group of soldiers who run across some kind of crazy thing done by the American government or on behalf of the American government gets exposed. If he goes up for life, which is what they want, then what soldier is going to do anything but duck, keep his head down? When I was in the service, the sergeants would tell us right from basic training, they would say, look it, keep your head down. You don't want to wind up in Leavenworth. Well, look it, Bradley Manning didn't keep his head down. He's in Leavenworth, but we've got his back. We want you to have his back, and we've got to win this case. This is an important case to win. We've got to win it in order to have any transparency in government. And the way you can do that today, if you can't get there Saturday, if you can't get to Park Street on Saturday, we've got a petition right here. We're in a last-minute desperate effort to get more signatures to get to the Secretary of the Army, and the whole point of that petition is to do one thing, and one thing only. Tell the Secretary of the Army to drop the charges against Bradley Manning. It's not too late yet. It's never too late until they get to the trial, and even then we can still push the issue. We've got other issues we can push, but right now, until we get to June 3rd. There you go, brother. Thanks. Thanks a lot. So this is what we're out here today doing, and we are every Wednesday. We've been out here at this location since before Thanksgiving. We've been doing this for a couple of years now. We were over in Davis Square. We have occasional rallies. Hi, how you doing? We have occasional rallies down at Park Street. Last week I attended a rally over at Fields Corner over in Dorchester. Thanks, brother. Over at Fields Corner in Dorchester. So every place we can, we try to stand for Bradley Manning, because this is a key case. This is a key case in the anti-war struggle in the spring of 2013. We got to win this one. We got to have Bradley's back. We've got it. Everybody who's right here right now has got Bradley's back. People from the Green Party, from various peace organizations, Quakers. I don't know. You can come up and name whatever you are. Various peace groups. groups interested in political prisoners. They're all out here today, and we'll be out here on Saturday in Boston or down at Fort Meade or wherever, calling for one thing. We're only calling for one thing, and that's to free Bradley Manning. To drop the charges against Bradley Manning before the trial and to free him. He's had 3 years of pretrial confinement. 3 years is enough. Actually, it's more than enough for a guy who did not commit any crime in our eyes. He's done a service to the international community, to the oppressed people of the world, the working people of the world. I don't know how history's going to judge him. These are tricky kind of things. But if you think back, how has history judged Daniel Ellsberg from the Vietnam period? History has looked very kindly on the whistleblower from the Vietnam era, Daniel Ellsberg, who will be speaking for Bradley Manning down at Fort Meade on Saturday. A number of us are going down on Saturday to be there physically in front of Fort Meade to call on the American government, to call on the Barack Obama administration to free the heroic WikiLeaks whistleblower Bradley Manning, and who also, by the way, happens to be a 2013 Nobel Peace Prize nominee. And I'll finish up my little set right here, like I always try to do, by saying that I stand in solidarity with 3 former Nobel Peace Prize winners: Desmond Tutu from South Africa, Mariette Maguire from Ireland, and our
Committee for Peace and Human Rights. We're the people who do the Saturday Vigil every week at Park Street Station at 1 o'clock. And that's when we're going to be having our rally for Bradley Manning next Saturday. We hope you'll join us. We expect it to be a large crowd. There are people all over the world rallying in support of Bradley Manning next Saturday, because Monday his court-martial is finally starting after 3 long years of pretrial confinement. Even though we are supposedly guaranteed the right to a speedy trial, that doesn't stop them from holding people as long as they feel like it. Well, we're finally going to see what punishment the government metes out for Bradley for telling the truth. They don't claim that he actually gave away any secrets that have compromised national security. They haven't contested one bit of information that he released. They just say it was secret. He should have kept it secret. Well, we don't think so. I don't think we should be killing people in faraway places and just keep it secret so that the American people can remain complacent. We need to know what's going on, and that's what Bradley Manning thought, and that's why he released all the information he released, and that's why he's in trouble now. Wouldn't you think our government would think it was a good thing to tell the truth? Obama claims he's going to support whistleblowers, and he's going to have the most transparent administration in years. Well, it's actually just the opposite. He's done more to go after whistleblowers than anybody else, more than Bush. He's taken more powers to himself. He says, Vision's over there. He says he has the power to decide who's going to be killed in drone strikes. He saw that Bush was getting in trouble detaining people. And now we have the problem of Guantanamo and how to deal with those people. So Obama's answer is just kill them right from the start. Then you don't have any messy detainment to have to worry about. Detention. Well, that's not my answer. My answer is if you have something against people, bring them to court, try them. If they happen to be guilty, then punish them. But I don't think it's a crime to be against the U.S. occupation of your country. but our country seems to think it is. Anyone who's an insurgent, in other words, who wants the U.S. out of their country, that's enough reason to kill them. Well, I'm not in favor of that. I think that's terrible. What if Iraq were invading our country and occupying our country,